Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's stream. Let me open up Scrivener. There you go. And a window. Do some projects. Okay, so what we're going to do to discuss today are letters to reviewers, which apparently I don't have any here, so I'll open up something new. Let's see. So, and the question of letters to reviewers, which I'm not finding right now. Is whether you should you should write them on a table, or you should write them in long form. And here you go. Okay. A lot of people have begun to write these as tables. I see them more and more in the papers I co-author with my co-authors, and I also see them a lot more when reviewing papers for journals. And basically, the idea behind a table is good. Basically, the idea is that you just put the points that the reviewers have raised in their review letter. You put them in a table, almost like in bullet points, and then you respond point by point. Now, this is very sorry. This is very effective. It's quick and easy to write, and it is quick and easy for reviewers to go through. However, I would like to suggest that it is actually a bad idea. And it's a bad idea basically for 5 reasons. The first reason is reciprocity with the review team. Reviewers don't, obviously there are bad reviews, but reviewers normally don't reply to you in bullet points. They don't write bullet point reviews. So I think it's, just as a matter of consideration and reciprocity, that you should make the effort to write a letter yourself, okay? Now, you can say, well, I'm being kind to reviewers by not forcing them to read an entire letter, but just look at a table, okay? Now, yeah, you are right. That is quicker for reviewers to do that, but that assumes that reviewers are going to look at the letter that you wrote them to check what you have changed. Now, that may be sometimes the case, but in my experience, that is, let me put it this way, that is a possible use for the review letter, but it's not the only use response to the reviews. It's not the only use for a response to the reviews. And I would argue it's misuse of the response to reviews, because when you get a paper for review in your second round or third round, you're going to read the paper, right? You may take a look at the letter first, but you're not just checking if authors have accepted your changes, because normally changes are complex enough that as an author you need to work on like major changes that will take care of multiple points. So it's just not realistic to think that when you're writing a review for a paper, unless it's a very final stage review, almost a conditional acceptance, that this is like a point by point work that you're doing. Okay, so what are the review letters for if not to check what you have done? Well, basically, they are there to explain what you have done. Okay, so if reviewers don't understand, why have you changed the paper in this way, or they don't understand how you responded to the comments that they made, then you use the review letter to explain. Okay, and this is the key. The review letter is not a report on what you have done to show the reviewers that you have accepted their comments. It is a document where you explain. You don't show, you're explaining what you have done. Okay? And you're answering a how question, not a what question, not what did I do question, but how did I do question. Okay? So you need a letter. And you need a long form letter, not a table. And you need a long form letter that explains. That doesn't just list what you have done. Okay? Now, I try, and you can see it in this document, that I try to get a mix. So, sometimes you get like comments from reviewers that, that require more work and are more complex. And there I use the review letter to explain and develop my thinking. But then, sometimes you just have, some very quick comments, right? So, for example, here there was something about figures and, identification of living discourses and tensions discussing the paper. And these were very much like smaller points. So I almost did like a table format, but I just kept it in long form because, to follow up the genre of the letter. But in this part, I really took my time and did an explanation. Okay, so you can format the letter in a way that makes the smaller points super easy to read and check, while taking advantage of the letter format to really discuss, engage, and explain the major points. Okay, now I used to write really long letters. I've tried to make them shorter. And I think I've sort of succeeded. You can see here. But, again, what I try to do is pick the 2 or 3 key points where I feel I need to provide an explanation, and then make that explanation as short as possible. But, still, there's an argument that is developed there. Okay. So that's the first point. The second point, why I don't think you should write tables, and that you should instead write review letters, is that when there are always going to be things that reviewers will contradict one another, or things that you don't want them to do. And it's just better to sort of incorporate that into a broader array of changes. So saying I did these 2 things, and do this 1 thing, and then did these 2 other things, so that so it's that it doesn't appear as hostile or that you're just rejecting what they're saying. In a table, it's really hard to do that. I mean, if you didn't do something, you're going to highlight that you didn't do something. And, I know it is a small thing, but obviously you want to predispose reviewers positively towards your paper, and rejecting their advice is not something that accomplishes that goal. So, that's the second point. The third point is this. And this is small, but it's also big. I mean, because what we need to understand is that the review process is about improving your paper, but also convincing reviewers. It is a process of persuasion as well, right? And so you're better off if reviewers read your paper than if they check off a table. Okay? A letter encourages reviewers to read the paper. A table encourages the reviewers to check in the table whether you have done what they said or no. And then, they may look at the paper, obviously. They will look at the paper. But I'd rather have reviewers start with the paper, because normally when you do a revision that has some significance, there will be improvement in the paper. You can do a really amazing job in the introduction, even if that's not the key challenge. So for example, I'm reviewing a paper that is extremely high risk, major revise and resubmit that we've discussed before on stream. I want reviewers to read the introduction for that paper, because that introduction will allow me to make the case for what I have done in the paper. Okay, so so that's the third reason why you shouldn't do tables, is because tables just may tempt reviewers to look at the table first and your paper second. Not a good idea. You don't want them to check things off. You want them to engage with your scholarship. Okay. So just to summarize, you can respond to reviewers with a table or with a letter. My argument is that you should write a letter. First, it is a matter of respect towards reviewers, that they've taken the time to write a letter to you, write a letter to them. Second, it is an opportunity to really explain what you have done. Response to reviewers is not about what you have done, but how you have engaged with them. And you want to show that their reviews had a transformational impact on the paper. Third, smaller but very important points about getting reviewers to read the paper first, rather than just looking at the table and checking off what you did or didn't do. And second, not ostensibly show that you did not follow advice. Just, here I didn't do this, which is, hard to do on a table than in a letter. Okay, so hope this is useful, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, it's live writing day, so I've actually worked on that figure that I did, and I actually think I have some good advice on how to draw figures from your paper that I think you'll like. So I'm actually going to show you the final figure, how I thought through the problem, but I'll show you, I'll discuss a couple pointers that may help you when you're working on figures for your own paper. Okay. So thanks everybody for watching. If you are on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're not on YouTube, just drop me a message on Twitter and just say, hey, I enjoyed the video, or just drop a comment. Okay, thanks so much, everybody, and I'll catch everybody later. Have a good one.